So for people who follow your career, you did a bunch of touring, both nationally and internationally.
Yeah.
So you did Phantom on the Road for a year, and you said you were all over the world doing Zorro and what else?
Well, we did Les Mis.
Mm-hmm.
It was the same team, the new Les Mis and the new Phantom.
Uh-huh.
I lived in Israel for a while.
That was really striking for me, and actually when we were chatting about that, it turns out that you know Isaac Sutton, who was our guest in episode number 20. So,
oh wow!
So that was a neat small world story. And in addition, you have done a show at the Yiddish Theater.
Yes.
So do you speak Hebrew and Yiddish, or to varying degrees?
So I speak Hebrew from living there, and as I say this, I can see the Israelis cringing, but I do. And so I learned German. And I'm conversational German just from my classical music background. Interestingly enough, Yiddish is simply lowland German written in the Hebrew alphabet.
Yeah.
So, of course, when I worked for the Yiddish Theater and we worked on various projects, they always would scold me for saying that I just sound like a German. And I would tell them, well, that's my training. I never studied Yiddish. I speak and read Hebrew and learn German, so I'm just faking the Yiddish. I don't know what to tell you.
Have you ever done any actor-musician roles as a pianist?
Yes. I played Noel Coward.
Oh, great.
Which really kicked my ass. It's, that genre, that world is a very specific discipline and sound and technique. But
was it a play with music or a musical or?
It was essentially a review show of about 20 of his hits, leading up to the moment where he was expected at a gig and didn't show up and nobody knew what happened, and they found out he had died, sort of unexpectedly. So other than that, I've never been able to utilize the piano on stage, although I often am asked to play guitar on stage.
When did you add that into your arsenal of tricks?
Yeah, so when Million Dollar Quartet transferred from Chicago, they brought me in for Jerry Lee, and I went all the way to the end. It was like that day when all the producers are in the back and Telsey's there and the whole thing, and like you're feeling great about what you're doing and you're rocking out. Do a scene, everything's all good, and then like you stand up and you kind of like just give them a minute to give it, and like I could hear them being like in the back like,
he looks more like a Carl Perkins.
He actually looks like Elvis.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do? Put him in a wig? Red wig? Not putting you in a red wig. We're not gonna put you in a red wig. Kid, can you play the guitar? No? Well, can you learn it like in a week and come back? And I said, of course, yes. So I literally went out and bought a guitar.
Oh my gosh.
And YouTube is an amazing thing.
Yeah.
And I just taught myself some tunes. You got an ear, you got rhythm, and then the patterns it's got a nice curve to it, the learning curve of it. Fell in love with guitar. What an expressive instrument. Melodic, harmonic, with the ability to bend, electric or acoustic, finger picking. I wish I was better at it, but I'm in love with it.
How long ago was that $1 Million Quartet?
So I picked up the guitar 8 years ago, and I sort of go through phases where I practice every day, and then I'll put it down for a few months, and then I'll be right back at it. And a lot of shows want guitars, so it's a chance to like, I have to learn a new bar chord. I have to learn a new extension. Wait, that pattern I can slide up 2 frets, 4 frets. That works. That's great. I'll keep that. That's awesome.
I've been wanting to learn for years, and maybe one day.
Dan, the first month will be very painful. Your skin literally has to die.
Yeah.
This is all dead.
All the calluses.
Yeah.
The other thing that got me was, as a pianist, the form is to support all the joints, and then you're playing guitar. It's like, well, collapse this knuckle to do this bar chord. I'm like, it's just so counterintuitive to what I.
Totally the opposite. Like the way our elbows are out and our wrists are free, and it's the illusion of pressing through the keyboard, but it's a concept of this guitar. The guitar is like squeeze as hard as you can so that those strings are muted. Keep this. But if you don't squeeze it, it's gonna